Christmas is right around the corner, and everyone's hoping for a Christmas miracle for interest rates. Let's find out what's inside and get back to the San Antonio housing market report and see what's in store there. All right, so if you've been following the channel for a while, you probably know that we've been hoping for sub 6% interest rates. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to see those 6% interest rates as everything's really been just kind of resetting as the new administration takes over, all the new policies are rolled out. And um, so that's kind of the bad news on the interest rates. But the good news is we're still expecting interest rates to come down. And they have in the last few weeks to come down, but they're not coming down as fast as a lot of folks may want them to. So we're sitting here in December and we're really just, I'm seeing a lot of folks kind of just waiting. Now, in the last couple of months, we did have a super slow August, super slow September, and then we suddenly had a lot of activity in October, November. Okay, so let's just check out what the mortgage rate predictions are in the last 2 weeks. So if we look here, Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Associations, Wells Fargo, they all average together to bring us to the fourth quarter of 6.67%, which is it's about on the money of where it's at right now. The first quarter of 2025 is looking like it's not going to be much lower, looking at about a 6.58%. Around that time, we should see actual policy changes form. So interest rates, again, are going to make a move there based on what those actual policies are and what actually happens. Second quarter of 2025, 6.45%. Third quarter, 6.32%. And fourth quarter of 2024, 6.33%. Now, these rates could be better, they could be worse, but overall, looking back at what the interest rate predictions have been over the last several months, the tone, the expectation has been moderated almost every single month. So we went from expecting a 5.9% interest rate outlook for 2024 to not getting that, and suddenly not getting that either in 2025. So keep that in mind if you're a buyer and you're just waiting for things to get better. The overall theme has been interest rates are going to get a little bit lower, but they're not going to get really low. Okay, we're not going to see those fours, 4.5s anytime soon, unless you're buying a brand new home and the builder is buying the rate down completely, which is very expensive. A lot of them are just doing the temporary buy downs at this point. Now, incidentally, if you are holding a lot of down payment money and you're wondering where to put your money right now into buying a house, make sure you check out Assumable Loans. I did a video on that before. I'll leave a link here in this video on Assumable Loans. It is a smart move, especially if you have $60, $80, $100,000 or more that you're planning to put down on a home. Okay, instead of getting 6.5 or 7% interest rate, you could have a 3, a 2.5. Okay, one of those interest rates obtained in 2019 to 2022 are available out there. You just got to know where to look. Mortgage delinquencies. Anyone looking at the foreclosure market? Yes, we're seeing some increase in foreclosures, but the delinquency rate is overall very low. If we go back here to 2009, okay, where we were at the peak of the financial crisis, and the delinquency rates were up in the nines here, which was very high. And fast forward to today into the third quarter of 2024, we're super low on delinquency rates for mortgages. So we still have a long way to go. So even if you hear in the news, oh, mortgage rate delinquencies are up 100%, 200%, 300%, that's still super low. We don't have nearly the number of foreclosures that you would expect with the way things feel. That makes sense. But So long story short, inventory is super low. Delinquencies are still low. There's a lot of equity still in the market. People can get behind, they can get into trouble and still sell their home and not have the house go into foreclosure. Now, shifting gears, getting into the San Antonio housing market report. This is for the month of November. Okay, December. This is December's report for all the data we collected in November. We're still sitting at a seller's market here in San Antonio. So we still have about 4.38 months worth of inventory as of November. That's up a little bit, less than 1% inventory rise. List price to sales price ratio is down less than a 0.1%. Okay, so really a zero. That means about a 3% wiggle room in list price to actual final sales price. Days on the market, the typical days on the market, we're looking at 40 days on the market typically. That's down 14.89%. So they sold faster in November than the previous month. The middle price in San Antonio is $285,495. That is down 2.79%. Okay, so the typical home people are purchasing a little bit cheaper in November. The middle estimated property values actually rose 1.5%. This is a departure from what we've seen in the last few months. Okay, as I mentioned before, we had a really slow, like August, September market, but as you can see, we have actually come up. So this blue line here is San Antonio. The orange line is Bexar County. Let's see here. We'll zoom in on that. Okay, so blue line, San Antonio, orange line is Bexar County, and then we have Texas and the rest of the US. So um, when I look at this, I see um, still opportunity for San Antonio to rebound in the future here. I don't know when that is going to be, but we're still cheaper than a lot of different places. We're not the cheapest market out there anymore, but we're still quite a bit cheaper. So just look around and do your own comparisons and come to your own conclusions. What's going to happen with the market in the future based on that? Newly listed homes in San Antonio for the month of November came in at a typical price of $300,000. And the number of properties listed in November came in about 22% lower at 2,040 properties. The typical price per square foot came in at $167 a square foot. And the typical size of the homes listed, the most common size homes listed in San Antonio came in at $1,825. That's pretty much on par with what people are buying. Active listings, homes that haven't sold yet, they passed that new listing status. They've been on the market at least 10 days, and those are sitting at $305,000. The number of properties there, 7,487 properties. That's down slightly, half a percentage point. Slightly more expensive, $170 a square foot. Typical living area for those homes, 1,858 square feet. Now, this month of December, every year, and this happens every year, you're going to see this, I believe, come down sharply because a lot of listings actually just expire at the end of the year. A lot of listing agents and sellers terminate their contracts or expire their listings in the month of December. So we're going to see these active listings come down. If you are a buyer and you've been eyeballing a house and eyeballing a house and waiting for a price decrease, don't be surprised to see that house disappear completely from the market at the end of December, first week of January. Okay, so if you're thinking about jumping into the market and you're just waiting for a price decrease, you might be disappointed to see that house that you're interested in disappear. So don't delay. I know it's busy, got the holidays and everything to think about, but if you're seriously about buying and you're in a position to look at that active listing that you were that you were eyeballing and consider making an offer right now before it actually expires and the seller decides to make other plans with the house. New pending listings, these guys just went under contract. They're done with their inspections, and they are moving forward for close to the closing date. Um, these came in at $295,000, so well under that typical new listing price that we're seeing. Number of properties that went newly into pending status, 1,161 properties. Again, we're down 26.3% there. The typical price per square foot came in at $164 a square foot. And the typical living size came in at 1,882 square feet. And then pending, these are leftover pending properties that didn't close out in the month of October. These came in at $309,000. Number of properties, 1,549 properties. That's a 16.7% decrease month over month. Price per square foot, $165 a square foot. And these were a little bit larger. Median living area square footage, 1,968 square feet. And then homes sold in San Antonio for the month of November came in at a typical price range of $285,495. The number of properties that actually sold, 1,260 properties, down 20%, so a little bit less buying activity there in that month, or rather the previous month. And the typical price per square foot came in at $159 a square foot. So, where does that leave us now in December? We're looking at 4.38 months worth of inventory. I think that we're going to see that number come down a little bit because of all the expirations we're going to see, expired listings. What does that mean? We're going to have a little bit less properties to look at if I'm correct there. Um, the last month's change in supply was positive. I'm looking, it's probably going to be a little bit negative in the next month. The 12-month change, again, positive. So I don't expect that to change too much, just maybe a little bit as we see all the expireds hit the market. So, whatever your best move is based on that, hopefully you found some information here that helps you. If you have questions about your particular market, your neighborhood, your home, you can always reach me here, 210-260-6617. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.